notion to start eating dead animals because the universe did not design us to eat flesh. The consuming of flesh was introduced to the world by a certain sector of people who had no vegetation to eat. And these bad habits spread to other people. There was people who did eat raw fish and stuff like that, but the wise people who was intelligent enough to recognize that you should not kill something and eat it because killing is killing. Shouldn't even kill a bug. That's really hard. I've killed a lot of them. I try not to though. I really do. So, you know, a lot of us is going to have to just try our best to get in where we fit in. That's the case with me, 52 years old, and oh God, it's so hard to just fend for yourself. And that's the reason you can find family members that look at you as if, what a useless deadbeat, you know what I'm saying? But most of the reason why you find useless deadbeat people is because their families think that way about them. You see? Because if more families stuck together and tried to build businesses with each other, then everybody in the family could have a job. Because you could have a family-owned business. And then the corporations will slowly but surely go away. But see, the corporations know that. And that's the reason why they want daughters to look down on their father, and they want sons to not have confidence in their fathers. Because they know if you don't work to build a job with your family, you will not be able to be self-sustained as a family unit, which means that you will always have someone else that gives you a job that can control you with fears and threats of firing you from your job. And then they can make you be cooperative and also become a part of religious affiliations that is coerced and forced you to become members of. And these are the things that I'll be pointing out to you guys over and over and over and over and over, because now it's got so bad as to where a lot of the crazy activities that's going on around the earth is not just based on deprivation of economics and all that, housing and all that stuff. Is all designed to deny you these assets of sustainment to get you in a position to eradicate you off the face of the earth. And that's the reason why we have such a disappearance of so many people on the earth right now. I'm sure everybody listening could think of a family member that has been totally disappeared, especially like incarcerated people. Once incarcerated, you just fall off the map. Nobody know anything about what's going on with you or whatever, because especially me, my hustle is so hard to just sustain myself that I really don't even, I couldn't even find time to try to figure out where half the people in my family is at, because everybody moves around so much and I just keep to myself a lot. And it's just really a conditioning of society. We should have better links and connection where people can have a center of thought for whole communities, and where people can get together and really vibrate around a section that's governed by the people that live in the sector. You know, imagine you have 50 sections of small groups of people that all give their money to the one sector that's way over there. And that one sector that's way over there take all the money. And you see they got lights, water, trees, everything, food, they have cookouts and everything. And you sitting there waiting on them to come back and take care of you, even though you giving them all your money, and because you're supposed to be a part of the deal. And you never see them come down the hill and do a damn thing. So what, give you some food stamps? Come on now, that ain't shit. You know, it got so bad for me, I had to go down there and apply for those damn things, which I don't even like to do. You know, it's not that I have an ego or anything like that where I think I'm too good for that. If I did, do you think I'd be telling the whole world that I had to go down there and apply for that? Well, the problem is that me living on a planet that I know sustains all the necessary sustainment for me, and then I have to go beg someone to give me food for myself. That's, well, if Everywhere I live, I have to rent to live somewhere. How can I have a garden? I mean, think about it. You don't even have land to grow your own food on. So, and what I'm saying is this. The average apartment place where you live at has apartments, more apartments there. So that means there's more apartments next door, which means that you're not going to find a lot of space to grow food. That has nothing to do with the physical location where you at or policy of that particular resident where you live. No, it is a common policy all around the planet that the availability for people to sustain themselves off self-grown food has been purposely eradicated and taken away to make you be consumers of everything that you ingest, which means people can control you by controlling what you ingest. Do you understand? That's the reason I say don't keep running, eating those fast foods. They're putting chemicals in those things to make you become addicted to them. Trying to point that out to everyone. You guys, please listen to me. I turned 52 years old Christmas Day. Okay? It was such a beautiful thing to just not do anything, but just lay around. I mean, I did work, but what I mean is I didn't get involved with the normality of all the function jumping and everything that makes people consume a lot of food and even drink alcohol to help dissolve all that stuff. And it's just so, it's so stressful and so draining, you know, that even though I didn't do it, the fact that the energy of doing that was wrong with everybody else, it makes me get so depressed. It does. It's the worst time of year for me. I just hate it because it's so phony. You got Santa with that whole shit, and I see people all struggling to get ahead, yet they're working so hard to try to get gifts for their children and all that, and you can see the tension. I got to get some toys for my kids and everything, and I just feel so sad for them because I see the commercialism in it, and it's not really all that bad, but it is when you just understand the foolishness of it, and you see the waste in revenue as to where these consumers that spend all that money, if they were putting all that money together, they have a better chance to fight the tyranny and the corruption that's on this earth. That's all I'm trying to say. Sometimes I just get on my own freaking nerves, you know, because I can't believe that all this shit be coming out of me. I just can't, you know, and it's just a lot. I'm telling you. The anxieties that I have, can't sleep. I think I read this book 4 times now because I don't have any more because they're all in LA, and it's just disturbing me that I can't find the books here. I mean, you can if you order them, but I don't freaking have the damn money to order a damn book, and you know that's pretty bad. You know, that's pretty damn bad. And I don't mind admitting that I'm poor because I'm just one of the people that's being honest. Everybody else out there fronting with them big SUVs and all that stuff. I know your ass poor too because you got to pay for that car and the gas to go in it and the insurance. So I already know. I'm just being honest. I just, you know, I don't want to bore people, but I just want to share some of my conceptualization. Okay, that's all I'm trying to do. I want to try to get at you with something that's probably not your normality or rationalization, all right? Something that can help you, if you will, but I definitely don't want to give it at you as something that's going to hurt you, okay? That's not what I'm trying to do. And along with that, I just want to point out that this world that we live in is very beautiful, and I'm not saying that it's not, but what I want to do is try to make it more pleasant by pointing out the things that I see in it, that I feel that we eradicate these things right here, we will all be contributing something to our existence that will make this place be so beautiful and warm to all the children that these women have, if we could stop them all from having abortions so much, you know? And I mean, I know I say things like women shouldn't have children in this world the way it is. Well, I say that because it's true. I mean, it is. We in case you guys haven't been paying attention, we have extraterrestrial spaceships flying around this planet at war with the Army and the Navy and the Air Force of this planet. And I got news for you. Earth is losing. Okay, now, I'm 100% convinced that these people in these UFOs is here because they want to help us. They're definitely the ones who started giving me these books to read. Okay, because when they started showing up and started talking to me, they started making me get rid of all my bad habits, drinking beer, all these white man devices I had. They threw them shits out. They put them right out of me and got rid of them. Okay, otherwise I'll be at the club right now drinking another Hennessy and Grand Marnier. Grand Marnier. I used to drink them expensive drinks too. Oh man, I had a drink called a Beautiful. I think I used to drink that. I think it was Hennessy and Remy Martin together. I don't remember. That shit cost like $11. And sometimes I just go and do dumb stuff. Because I always was able to make money, you know, until recently, you know. But what I would do is I'd go buy me 2 bottles and bring them to my house and mix them together and drink them at home. But when you go to the club and buy them, you pay $11, $12 for just a little thing right there. But after you drink that, you're feeling pretty good, though. I mean, well, I thought I was feeling good, you know, but it wasn't. I had the wrong thoughts of reality and the wrong interpretations of what feeling good was. I feel good now. Even with all my anxieties and everything, I still pretty much feel good. I just have a problem with the depression that comes with trying so hard to make everything meet and the incompletion of that. That's all, you know. And I guess not really having a lot of help or actually being all by myself kind of adds to the burden of everything, you know. But I'm not alone. I do have the sunlight. And I do have other strange people that don't even know me. They come out of nowhere and say the craziest stuff. And it's like, how did you know to say that? Because I was really on that thought. So what and how? And they look at me like, well, you know we're the same spirit, don't you? And you know that's how the sun works, right? Because see, it came into my eyes and told me to say that because they just want you to know that it's here with you. Don't be so depressed. Keep doing what you're doing. It's going to get better. And see, those are the type of encounters that I have through the day that encourage me to keep going. And so you all can know, there's mostly from European people. So even though I see a lot of negative stuff about some of the bad encounters I have with European people, I've had a lot of encounters with European people that can make me cry because they could come at the times when I'm really, really feeling so down and just so disturbed and everything that just made me feel like, damn. And you'd be surprised how the spirit can use people to come and say things and do things at the time when you most need it. They will be there. And that's how you know there's angels and people, because I know the light get into the people and make them do certain things, you know. So there is people that have extended me grand extensions. You know, I could have had my ass homeless a long time ago. I won't lie to you, for real, it's the truth. So I'm not saying that the world is completely without anybody that has a heart. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I do want to try to reach the people that can do better and show them that they probably should. Because if you die tonight with all that money that you got in the bank and all the people that you could help and you did not, you're going to have to go and talk to the person that helped you be so wealthy. And even if you became wealthy by doing misguided deeds or deeds that probably wouldn't ride real high with the list of divineness, you still only was successful at that because someone let you do it. Because there's plenty of people that try to get rich, they end up dead. And then there's plenty of people that get rich, end up rich. And I believe the ones that get rich from doing wrong and successfully become rich, I believe they're the ones that's going to pay the greater price in the long run. Because that money really makes you become a effed up person. So, you can know, I've been watching my videos and kind of disturbed me with some of the profanity, because that's not me. Because when I was in LA, I didn't let things get to me. I did not, so I didn't have potty mouth like that. But when I came back here to Vancouver, things got to me because I cared about where I was at. Not saying I didn't care about LA, I did. But I toned LA out because I kept telling myself I needed to get out of that city So my whole motive was about get enough money and get the hell out of here. It's different here in Vancouver because I keep telling myself I have to get into this city. But it seems like everybody in this city is saying, no, we don't want you here. You see? So that's kind of what made me attack everyone. And I'm not real happy about that I did that. And I did have some friends that was telling me, you should probably not be as profane, if you will. And I guess I didn't listen because I was listening to my own heart. And on that note, I really believe I poured off what I wanted to do. I do. I really do. Because I'm dealing with the hearts of the people that I see in this city. Okay? And I see a dramatic change in people. Contrary to the guy this morning, I think he was just having a bad morning because that guy has been so generous to me. And at first I didn't really know who he was, but I'm not going to dwell on that long. But what I'm saying to you guys is that when I first got here, the altercation that I described between me and him this morning, they was all the time. And even with all the altercations I had in the alley when I was scrapping everything, with everything that I've been open and honest and voiced my concern about myself and other people and how we treat each other, I want you to know that I really believe in my heart that there is not a better city than this city right here. I haven't really been to a city that I would want to be in more than this city. Even with the problems that I have, my objective is to turn everything around and make something from nothing. That's how I roll. But at the same time, I'm not just trying to go out there and fix my problems. I want to fix my problems and use information of what I strategize to fix my problems to be available to the rest of the people that's going to come up to the same ordeals. Because if I fix my problem and don't care and just move on down the line, that means that I didn't do a good service for the other people that's going to come up behind me. And the main emphasis that everyone should be attaching to their things to do is the emphasis of returning to your God self. And remember, the quickest way to get to your God self is to start to identify the God reality of everything that you have an interaction with. And that means that you should be involved with trying to better everything you be involved with. If you see the need for something that you can contribute, you should contribute it. I believe that the best thing I can contribute is some of the recounting of the experiences that I've had to go through in my life and share with you genuine claims of what I find as, the motivating factor for all of the circumstances of pleasantry or disturbances that I come into. You know what I'm saying? Adversity and prosperity is something that I can share with you guys all day, all night. Thing is, the adversity that I have is easy for me to share with you. The prosperity that I have is not readily available to a society of people who view prosperity as wealth. My greatest prosperity that I could tell you about is how the sunlight changed my body. I have good health, even if I'm not wealthy. I'm going to tell you something that you don't know. I was talking to God one day, and I had a choice between health and wealth. And without even thinking about it, I just thought, well, what's the sense in being wealthy if you're not healthy? I just knew that. It was just right there in my head. So when the question got asked, because sometimes these voices talk to me, and it's always a challenge, and it's always trick questions, and they tell me jokes and stuff too. I'm not lying to you, jokes. they just pop out of nowhere with jokes. I see funny sketches in my head and just start laughing because they're very, very humorous. They can really entertain you. The people in the light that I used to tell you guys about in my first videos and you didn't believe me, then all of a sudden I showed you proof. So see, when I start telling you something, when I told you there was people in the light, and I told you that I'll talk to people in the light, you didn't believe me, but then those UFOs and everything showed up in the light. So see, that should give you credibility and give you a reason to at least listen to what I'm saying. And you see, I won't go too far overboard. Okay, I won't. But my thing is, when you can see something out of place, maybe it's because the universe put you in a position to fix that. That's the way I was always taught by my grandmother as well as my mother. My grandmother and my mother used to say to me, why do you keep walking over that thing? Pick it up. Don't you see it laying there? You've walked over it 5 times. I'd be like, why didn't you get up and pick it up? But I won't say that. Get that ass knocked out. But I pick it up. And as I got older, because I picked it up because I didn't want them to knock me out. But as I got older, it started making sense to me because all that stuff is mental baggage. Because it makes you, well, you're irresponsible. You want to wait on somebody else to do it. And that's probably why it doesn't get done. So that's the reason why I've always had a job. I've just never managed to keep money, you know, because I've never been a person that thought that you should keep money. I believe that you should utilize your money to live, you know, because tomorrow doesn't come forever. And if we did not have a system of capitalism, there would be no need for banks because we would all be living off the land and we would all be living off sustainment coming from a group of people who always manage to have something to do to sustain themselves. It's just when you let someone else come in and distribute jobs to you that you create a circumstance where someone could look at you and discriminate against you and not give you a job and you end up not doing well. You probably end up a person that is separated from the woman that the universe originally ordained for you, and you can see this woman having jobs and everyone else around having jobs, but not you, okay? But here's the deal. When that starts happening, it is a signal that everything is dying. Because let me explain to you why. If you take 5 people and you put them in a room and somebody claims ownership over these 5 people, and they have a mission to make profit off of these 5 people. If they come back to that room that you left the 5 people in, and they find one of those people dead, the first thing they're going to do is question the other 4 people to find out which one of those 4 they can make be responsible for the one that came up dead, because they've lost revenue now, and somehow they want to find out how to get that revenue back. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, under that right there, that is just a, if you will, metaphor, you know what I'm saying, or a parable, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting at this. When there's 5 people, there's 5 people. When 5 people turn into 4, you can't really go back to those 5 people again. You can get another person to replace the one that you lost, but you still lost one. That is the value of people. A person is a person because there are people. If you are the only person on this earth, there will be no other people around you to give you proof that you are existing. You can see other animals and everything, but you're not an animal. Your proof of existence will come around when you see another like soul. Do you understand? So we should never look at people as if we can afford to lose one. You can't. You cannot. Every person is important. And we need to start building a society that sustains, induces, and conduces the type of chemistry and the type of conceptualization in all members of society that will make you know the importance of each one, take care of one. and we will have no deprivation on this earth. We will have no tyranny. We will have no violence. We will have no single mom. We will have no baby daddies, okay? All these things are implemented strategies, okay? They are entities of corporate America that has been given objectives of family unit dissension, okay? And when these type of things go unaddressed, they swell up and they inflate. And they get to the point where now you have a monolithic disturbance in your society as to where every agent that's sent out to try to combat it will stick out like a sore thumb because it's way off into a region by itself. You have to go through all type of legions of willing mercenary, negative mercenary, but willing all the same for that SUV, you know what I mean, for that pretty woman. And when we on the fact of pretty women, not only did they implement a strategy to make women single, you know what else? They kind of gave them a prostitute attitude. They did, because let me explain to you why. The average young girl grows up, fathom in her mind, if I want to get away from this mother, this always, see listen, two things happen in a young girl mind. Some young girls get resentful of their parents and they go out and try to do things that they know their parents would like. A lot of times it's sex because some guy can read them and see that vulnerable and take advantage of that, okay? But the thing is, after the sex comes the pregnancy. There's a lot of defiance in young girls. A lot of jealousy in mothers over their young daughter too. And the young daughter see that jealousy of her mom, and what does she want to do? She want to go out and every time a guy come around, he start his wicked ass looking at the little girl. The more it makes her start to get a little uppity around the mom. Next thing you know, she gonna go out there probably deliberately get pregnant. I'm not saying that because I just want to say that. I'm saying it because I've seen cases of young girls that do things because they try to mimic their moms. I've seen that, okay? But my point then is that we have shows like Desperate Housewives, and these things deliberately teach these young girls how to act like little prostitutes. I mean, it does, you know, and I'm just trying to point that out to everybody to let them know that that is one of the reasons I think the best information that's necessary for us people here on earth is for us all to get involved with the serious eradication of the misinformation that's being given to our female population. We are going to most definitely have to work on trying to get a school system that can teach our women that they are goddesses and teach them how to attain goddess attributes and get them away from believing that their completion is in Jesus, because actually their completion is in themselves. And Jesus is not telling them not to get abortions, because if he was, there would not be so many Planned Parenthoods making a killing. And as a matter of fact, I'm willing to bet you money that most of the women that had all these abortions are Christians that was afraid to let the people in the church know that they were having sex. So they aborted the baby more than anything to hide it from the people in the church because they were not pregnant. So all this misinformation and this misguidance is leading to illiterate actions by the women on our planet. And since they're the one that could get pregnant, they should be the ones responsible to not get pregnant. You're not going to tell some man that's getting a chance to get some coochie to be responsible, okay? You can't do that. And you can't lock him up without locking her ass up, okay? Because listen, if you're going to give her a welfare check to take care of the baby, okay, and then lock him up because he's not, well, she's not either, because the state is. You're just giving her a check. So what you're doing is privileging her to go out and get pregnant to create the circumstance, but then you're locking up the man. So it sounds like entrapment to me. It sounds like the white man is convincing the black woman to get a black man some pussy and get pregnant, and I'll take care of you and your baby, and we'll lock your man up. I'm sorry. I don't care if you don't like my description of what I'm looking at, but that's what I'm looking at. That's exactly what I'm looking at. So, I thank you all for listening. And peace and blessings. Today is December the 26th. I turned 52 years old yesterday. It's 2012. My name is Asarai Satepara Mahat. And I hope that this is going to help the world, because I'm putting a lot at risk to come out here and talk all this stuff, especially how much work it takes to do it all. I think I have like about 250 videos.